exactly this beef bourguignon, that has such a delicious flavor to it.
This is my family. Karim eats goals for breakfast. Leo, he's one of a kind. Nobody's faster than Hakimi. Catch our family reunion all World Cup long.
And again, this is very easy to make.
Yes.
As soon as you get through with the preliminaries.
Look at mine here.
Jack?
It's brown on one side already.
Yeah,
nicely.
lovely.
And again, because the heat transfer is pretty good, the pot is thick enough, and it gives me an equal heat, so I have nice crystallization of the juice, you know, of the sugar, and I want to brown that all around before we put the liquid. In the garnish of my pot roast, I'm going to put, for the time being, because first I cook it for a good 3-4 hours, very low oven, and after that I put the different vegetable in it. So, but to flavor the meat, I want a bit of onion, I want a couple of bay leaves, I put here. I want some fresh thyme, which I have there, and tomato. All of this is going to go in my pot roast. Now let's see. It's brown on the second side. I brown it here.
Jack, I'm going to say that these are brown enough.
It's brown enough?
To brown the beef.
Oh, good.
Let's dry the beef off in paper towels there.
Yeah, it's pretty dry, huh?
Is it?
Yeah, we just cut it.
We need to salt and pepper it a little bit. Well, that can go right in here now.
Can you do it in one layer, you think?
I hope so. If not, we'll do
not
it in
overlap, because if it overlap, it starts.
It'll steam.
Starts steaming rather than browning. So you have a place for another one here, another one here. That's it.
That's just enough.
Everything is.
If it just steams, all the juices start burning in it, and it's not doing what it should.
I'm putting your garnish in there, then. The carrots, onion, a whole head of garlic, a couple of bay leaves, and a couple of pieces of thyme also.
Oh, you can see with mine here, I'm turning it over. And the browning of the meat gives flavor, and it also gives color.
Here we are.
And what's very nice about a stew is that you can brown all the meat one day while you're preparing dinner, and then you can simmer it the next day while you're eating dinner. People are always thinking, oh, these stews, they take so long, but they don't, because you just do it in bits and pieces. And it makes wonderful eating, I think.
Okay, I am ready for my pot roast now. So I have, my meat has been browning all around. So now I'm going to add all of that stuff of the flavorful agent around. On top of this now, I'm putting a cup and a half of white wine. And half a cup of water, just a little bit of water. Now I bring that to a boil.
That looks pretty.
I have to put some salt around. Sometimes even in there I put a calf's feet or a pig feet, and that gives you some gelatin and all that. It's nice, but you know, you can do that. I bring that to a boil, put that in a 300-degree oven for like 3 to 4 hours until it gets tender. Then at that point, I'll take it out and put the vegetable.
And at that point, you don't really have to survey it at all while it's cooking.
You don't have to do anything now. So
you just leave it by itself.
I think it should go into the oven now. We're doing pretty well here.
I'm going to say this is nicely browned all over. And at that point, it's time to put in your brown little pieces of lardo. And we want...
You want all your seasoning in there?
Yeah.
And your red wine?
Yeah.
You put red wine in your beurre.
Oh, yeah.
Here we are.
We just want it practically a bottle.
Okay. We need a lid on top of this.
I'm also going to put in, we have some delicious stock.
This is
A
a
little bit of that in.
brown chicken stock.
Which
The
we've
brown
been
chicken
using
stock,
for
yes.
everything.
Yes.
I'll put a tomato in there.
Oh, yes.
So that just goes in.
We cover it, and how long do you cook this?
At least 2 hours.
Yes, I would say, yeah,
Well,
2 to
maybe
3
3.
hours, you know, slowly.
Depends on the quality of the meat.
But you don't really want it to boil it a lot. You want it to simmer it very, very gently so it doesn't touch the meat.
Just moving like
Right.
that. Well, those are the preliminaries. Not too difficult.
Well, I just took that pot roast out of the oven, and as I say, it's pretty tender. I still have to cook it with the vegetable, you know, and put it back in the oven.
That
It's been
sauce
like
looks
3
pretty,
hours.
Sauce
Yes.
looks pretty nice.
It's great.
in there.
But first, I want to do another dish, and that dish is made with leftover mashed potato that I have here. We're doing a gratin we call a pomme mondeur. So I put the leftover mashed potato. I have about 5 cups of leftover mashed potato here, and I'm going to put 3 eggs in it. Directly in there, we're going to do a gratin with this kind of soufflé gratin. Very easy to do. Here, I'm going to put some pepper, maybe a dash of salt, and about half a cup of grated Gruyere cheese about. Then I'll make this in second. That's it. And now we're going to put that in a gratin dish. And I like to put the gratin dish directly on a cookie sheet, don't you?
No.
You don't?
No.
Well,
But it's nice to have it on.
if there is spillage, then it goes into your oven.
Oh.
My wife will never go for it.
I will never have any spillage.
Of course.
No.
So we put a little bit of butter. You're not against that, right? And then I'll put my gratin right on this. It's a nice
It's
way
kind of
of
a little
using...
potato souffle.
Yeah, it's a nice way of using leftover potato, you know. So we just put that in there.
Well, that's certainly easy to do.
Yes, it is, and it's a good way of using, as I say, your leftover mashed potato and a little bit of Swiss cheese on top. We put it like that in the oven.
Well, that's nice to have.
Yes, so I'm putting that around 400 degrees. It will take like 30 minutes, you know, at least. So here we go.
Now let's discuss these onions.
Yes.
These are these little onions about 1.25 inches, and I always pierce a little cross in the root end to help prevent them from bursting while they cook. You don't do that.
I don't do that.
And then that's probably, these are yours where the little end has come out, because you haven't pierced them.
The little end comes out. So here,
And then for easy peeling, I always drop them into a pan of boiling water, boil them exactly 10 seconds, and they peel very, very easily.
Uh-huh.
And then I put them in a pan here with a little bit of beef stock and butter, and now
And a bit of sugar.
a little bit of sugar for them to
Because they're going
glaze.
to glaze now, right? You cook them covered for 3-4 minutes. It gets them a bit tender. Then you remove the lid and they cook down. By then, they cooked and glazed. Look at that. Well, they are starting to glaze. Shall we?
And then we're going to put the mushrooms on top of them. I'm following your directions.
No, I'm following. This is your recipe.
No,
And then what happened with the beef?
Now, what we want to do is we want to remove this ugly-looking package of vegetables, which is presumably going to give a wonderful taste.
Should we press this a little bit? Okay, that's good. So like that, we don't have to strain it.
You want to make sure that the beef is tender, which I would always say take out a piece. And that's more than tender. That'll be delicious, I think.
Yeah, it's very tender.
And now it's time to finish it off.
What do you want to thicken it with? Cornstarch or beurre manier?
Beurre manier is more stable, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
Cornstarch can break down. Well, let's do a beurre manier.
Okay.
A beurre manier is a way of thickening a sauce, and very convenient because it's fast. It's just about equal amounts of butter and flour stirred together, and then add a bit of your hot liquid. And this is what you might call an emergency thickening. but it works very nicely. You don't want to thicken too much with it because it
That goes back
turns
in.
things white. Then this has to come to the boil again.
Uh-huh.
That looks lovely, Jack. Can you see
Going
that?
to glaze
See,
a little more, yeah?
onions are brown just a little bit, and that looks perfectly delicious. Yes, that's about right, I would think.
Yes, we see that
Now let's put our onions and mushrooms in.
the thickening is
And then taste
about right, huh?
That's about right, I think.
You want to put those in there?
Just dump them in, I think. That looks very nice. That's a good way of doing it.
Okay, all of it is in there.
This can be done ahead and reheated. As a matter of fact, it's
Probably
very often
yeah.
better.
Yeah.
And taste very carefully. It should be delicious.
Can I taste too?
Please taste. That's good because you have the juices from the onions in there.
Delicious.
I'll just turn that off.
It really tastes delicious, you know, but you mind if I put just a little bit of red wine at the end?
If it
Just
don't ruin it because it's so good.
No, you know,
It's
just a little bit
little
like this.
Okay, that's to give it.
Yes,
the
it will
winey
give it a
taste.
kind of winey taste at the end. I like it. And you know what? I'm going to taste that with my... Did you see that spoon like that? This is a tasting
didn't.
spoon. You do this and you taste
Oh, now that's a good
on
idea.
this side. So you
So
can
that
use
you
this
don't
again.
have to keep washing
Yeah.
it.
Have
Very
you ever
good
seen
idea.
a tasting spoon?
I've never seen one like that.
It didn't ruin it, right? Give it just a little bit
No,
more
it's
of red
very
wine.
nice. You could even put a tiny bit more in, I think.
A tiny bit more here. Yes, I'm with you. Okay.
That's
Not
it.
much because you don't want really to have a taste of raw wine at
No.
the end, but it give it a little bit of a hurt and in fact the color even improved slightly. So I think now we're ready to serve this, but I'm going to finish first the pot roast.
Well,
the
that's
vegetable
mighty
with
good,
the pot
that
roast.
stew. Because I
And-
think it's because everything reduced properly.
Yes, because it cooked a long time very slowly. I have a large white turnips here, you know.
That's a very big one.
That's a big
And
one.
it isn't punky inside, which
Well,
is
we're going
unusual.
to find out. I'm going to open it, but frankly, when I find smaller one, I like to use more the smaller one. No, it's pretty firm.
That
Look at
looks
that.
okay.
But it does smell stronger than the small one.
Well, it should.
Yeah.
I like a
So one,
strong
two.
turnip.
3, 4, well, 5 or 6, 8 pieces of turnips. I will have plenty here. So my pot roast is there. The onion, those are bigger than yours, you know, and
Yes,
I
they
would
are.
count, you know, a couple of onions, 2, 3 at the most. That this is the time where I put all of my vegetable because it has another at least good hours to cook. Bunch of carrots here.
Those are naturally baby carrots.
Yeah, those are baby carrot, and you can actually even put potato if you want. You can put other type of vegetable.
And you
But-
got your peas.
At that point, the peas I put it at the end when I serve them, you know. And this will go into the oven, 300 degree again, for like an hour, hour and a half. I think my pot roast is finally cooked. You know?
Ooh,
Look
that
at
looks nice.
Yes, with a lot of
I
vegetable.
love the smell of all those
Yes,
vegetables.
and this is under, you know.
Oh, good.
So,
So how long did that take?
we're like close to
About
5 hours altogether.
5
you know.
hours.
And if I want to put some peas, if you want to, a bit of color, you put them at the end for a few minutes. Of course, in the oven, they would get too dark.
Yes.
Likewise, too, if you want to thicken the sauce, then I like to use a bit of potato starch, you know?
Yeah.
You want to give me a drop of white wine in there? You always have to dilute your starch with a liquid.
Okay.
In the case of Aru, you have the butter, which does the effect. But otherwise, if you put hot liquid on that starch, it will seize and you'll have nice little dumpling all over the place, which you don't want.
that.
So there, as I put it in that liquid here, it thickens on contact. So I stir it there. See, it gets much thicker right away. So this is a nice way of finishing it up, you know. That's it. And I would leave it just like this. I had enough. And maybe what I should do is to carve some of that.
Oh, yes.
So we'll have that. It's really as you see, the meat does shrink considerably, but
Certainly. Then think, too, it carves easier if it's cooled off a little bit, hasn't it? And then,
Yes, probably.
and you can cool it off and reheat it. And it'll
absolutely. This,
carve
leave it.
very nicely, I think.
So I'm going to put it on the big platter here. This is the type of dish that you love with a big platter, right?
Mm.
And here, the sundae.
Smells like beef.
Yes. And I'll take a little bowl like this.
You could say this was family style because you can get this all done in the kitchen. And
yes, and
bring it in. You could put that on a buffet.
serve it in the dining room, or on the buffet. It's always
I like those nice big vegetables.
have appetizing. The vegetable will have a tendency to break down. We cook about an hour after I put the vegetable in it. This is about it. Put a little bit of parsley on top. And
That
here we
looks
are.
delicious. Now we have
the beef burgundy. And I have a couple of some noodles for you.
oh, good.
Shall I give it to you now?
Yes, let's put the noodles on the plate first.
Just plain buttered noodles. Salt, pepper, that's it. We'll make a little
A
nest
little butter.
out of it here for your noodle. Those are wide noodles, They look good.
There are the mushrooms and the onions. I think we need a little parsley.
Yes, where we're going to put the crouton around.
That's right. That's a delicious sauce. Nothing like good beef, is there?
Okay, shall we put a few
I
croutons?
liked your idea of, what did you do? You
We have
dipped
to
it.
dip them. You have to dip them in the sauce
Dipped in the
there.
sauce, and I
We
think
put them in the parsley.
that's a very nice idea. That really dresses it up nicely.
Yeah. Yes, beautiful. I have the gratin of potato. Okay. Here, I'll give it to you. Watch out, it's very hot. We could serve maybe a beef burgundy like this with some of the potato around. What do you think? Be a bit different. Here, in fact, you see the sauce even better, You want to put some potato next to it? Watch out, the pot is hot. This is hot.
This is a very nice idea. I think I'll put a few
This thing of parsley.
parsley on the side. That's your green vegetable for
That
today.
look absolutely terrific.
That looks so good. I think we ought to toast it ourselves.
I would
having
say
done it.
we're talking about a symphony of taste today. We started by cooking in concert and having a symphony of so many different tastes. And those are very delicate, muted tastes. They work well together. The wine,
Really beefy.
the onion, beefy.
Now, where's your wine?
I'm ready for the wine. A little bit, you want something which really stand up to the beef here. We have a Cabernet Sauvignon here, dark Cabernet, which I love. So I think I will toast you on that one and tell you how happy I am to cook with you.
Bon appetit.
And happy cooking.
And I will toast you, Jacques. Le
Thank you.
maître.
Good.
A presentation of KQED San Francisco.
Today we're going to cook with soul.
And with red snapper poached, and we saute the sole.
These are wonderfully fresh fish and 3 of our favorite recipes.
Happy cooking.
Bon appetit. We're going to start with sole meunière, that famous dish where the sole is sautéed in butter. It's just lovely.
Yes.
And this is the real sole.
Yeah, this is what they call the Dover sole.
Dover sole.
In
Yeah.
France, we call that sole anglaise, you know, English sole.
It's a lovely fish, and you can skin it, as Jack will show you. Then let's describe this. What do we have here?
Yes, we have, look at that, the white, beautiful white flesh here. Those are the gray sole. Gray sole, the lemon sole is even larger. And as you can see here, enormous roe. I mean, those roe here, usually people throw it out. My wife adores this. I mean, when we have that at home, I saute the roe. She loves it. And then we have
And
more
I think
here.
the gray sole is number 2 after the channel sole, don't you?
Right.
What do we have here now?
Well, we have a type of flounder, which actually is a yellow tail. You know, you can see
And
it.
there is a little
Slightly
yellow.
yes. And this here, you know, I used to fish for those. Those are the fluke. And you can see here the meat. You just have a little bit of meat in the center, almost no meat on top of that. Tell you, frankly, there is over 100 different types of flatfish in the sole family. Dab, flounder, petrollet sole, Dover, and so forth. But today, we want to take this one. So we have the white and the dark side, right? Personally, I leave the white skin.
I remove both.
Oh. See, when you crush it here, when you cut it here, and you start scraping, you want to take the skin out of it?
Yeah.
You go ahead. I'll hold it for you here.
But you can't do this with any other fish. That's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, this comes out very easily, yes? Which doesn't on another sole. I mean, if you try that with a gray sole and all that, you're going to have
Won't
problems.
do it.
Here there is the roe. Cut the head this way. For me here, the meat starts right here, you know?
Yeah.
So I cut with my scissor right here, but you like that part,
I
right?
like everything because it's so expensive. There may be a little delicious fish there.
Do you leave the roe or do you remove the roe too?
Oh, I'd take the roe out.
All right, so we can rub it this way, which
That's very nice, isn't it?
push the roe out. And then, of course, what we have
But
to
on
do
the other
here,
side,
I leave the white skin on. I just scale it. See, it's scaled pretty well.
oh, I would take it off.
But you want it off?
Yeah.
Okay, so we take it off on that one.
That's wonderful, isn't it?
Right. I have 2 more here, and you can see the difference. I have the white skin left on, which I scaled, of course, and it's narrower because I have cut that strip here and that strip here, which is also bone. So this is basically bone out.
What would we say for fish stock? All
Fish
of this.
stock, yeah, basically all of that. You know,
And the
head.
skin, too.
The skin, too. The flatfish does very good stock.
That
you
makes
know.
a wonderful stock. As you could make the stuff, and all you need to do is just put it in a pot and simmer it with lightly salted water.
Okay, so we're going to saute that in a large skillet, and I think we're going to use that non-stick skillet. It's a bit easier, right? I'm going to put a little bit of oil in there, a piece of butter. That should be hot enough, yes.
Now, this is going to be meunière, so you're going to dredge it lightly in flour.
Meunière, so you want to put it in flour, put a bit of salt on top. Let's do, are we doing 2?
Yeah.
We're doing you. And mine right there.
Meunière means the miller's wife. The miller is called the
meunier, yes.
the meunier,
So this is
and his
meunier.
wife is the la meunière.
Exactly. Okay, so we put it this one here, and this one the other way. And it is going to take about 3 minutes on each side. Now let's see now. Nicely brown on one side. Brown it on the other side. And those are the firmest of the sole. About the only sole you could put on a grill and turn with a fork like a steak.
Now, how do we tell when it's done?
Well, when you open it in the center here and you see that it separates from the bone, you know that basically it is ready.
That's very important to know because you
Right.
don't want to overcook it. And some people say cook it until the fish flakes. You've overcooked it in that sense,
Right.
haven't you?
Sometimes you may cover it also, to give it a little bit of steam. But it changes taste a little bit. I like it done a bit longer this way.
Yes.
So we'll leave it for another minute. I think they are ready. You can serve it, of course, with the bone on, as Julia likes it this way. Otherwise, you can bone it out. And what you do, this one is the one with the skin on, as you can see. And you can either separate it this way or run your knife right there.
This has that wonderful flat bone.
Yes, in the center of it. And I've cut it in the center. So what happens is that usually the maître d' does that in front of you. So you can remove one of those fillets, as you can see here. Beautiful white meat,
And
the
it's
other fillet like
definitely
this.
dead because it comes easily off the bone,
And now
but it's still
the
juicy.
second one, we lift up
You
very
can
nicely.
add that to your fish stock.
Add that to your fish stock. Here you are. And then we put this back on top of it. There. So I could either do that in the dining room in front of the customer, or you can do that on your table, rearrange that on your plate, and at that point you have your 4 individual fillets of sirloin bone out. It's a nice way of doing it.
And now you're going to make the black butter sauce.
Yeah, we do black butter. So, Julia, you want to put some capers on top of that?
Okay, or you're going to put them in the pan?
We put them. You can put them in the pan.
Well, I'd rather put them in the pan.
Okay, I'll do a little bit of parsley. We have some lemon juice too. For the parsley. There, you can see the butter is changing color there, and you want it a beurre, what we call a beurre noisette, that is hazelnut color. You want to give me some capers?
You're going to put some of these capers in there, right in there.
Yeah.
So I think they're nice.
Thank you.
Okay.
And you want to put some of the lemon juice directly in there also.
Oh, that's going to
Good.
be
And put
delicious.
your parsley first. So when you put that on top of it,
It
it kind
smells
of cook
so
it,
good.
cook it a little bit. It cook your parsley by putting the hot butter and lemon mixture. And now,
So there you are. That's it. And now you're just eating. Now we're going to take this beautiful red snapper,
fresh out of the water.
fresh out of the water, and we're going to turn it into a fish fillet poached in white wine. That's one of the classic ways of doing fish fillets in French cooking.
Yes. And you're going to do it one way, and I'll do it another way.
Exactly.
So I'll take the fillet. In fact, that type of fish, those grouper or type of fish like that are very good for stock. So you do a
Fish
great
stock.
stock with that, yes. Here is one fillet. Try to go under the gill here to lose the least amount of fish that you can.
And this is a beautifully fresh fish also, except you've got your finger in it.
Yes.
You can see it has a nice bright eye.
Yeah, nice bright eye, that's true, yes. And very often also we used to cook those fish on the bone, but now conventionally it is done on the fillet. This one has been scaled already. I'm taking the bone from the belly here. And that again would go into the stock. I'm cleaning it up a little bit of the tail. I think it's pretty good. That would be a nice fillet, a big one. But
I like the skin taken off, please.
Oh, you want the skin?
Yes, I
Oh,
do.
okay. I will oblige. This way, lifting it up, to hold this way, and you move in a
You
kind
can
of
hold
jigsaw.
that in a towel, too.
Yes, and you
It's
move
kind of slippery here.
in a jigsaw fashion, to try really to get your skin out of it. So it's a very useful
That looks lovely.
technique, huh?
I have to have some shallot with mine. If you don't have shallots, you can always use scallions. But shallots have a little more flavor, I think. I'm going to put the shallots. I'm going to have a little bit of butter in
And you
there.
want to poach that with...
You use white wine. I've not had great success always with white wine. I find it a little sour
so you
frequently, so I always use dry white French vermouth.
Okay.
There is a horrible American vermouth. Do not use. I shall not reveal its name.
Okay.
but it's awful. I'm going to keep the nice side up here.
Okay. That's
Let's see,
beautiful.
and there's my vermouth.
You have salt, pepper, the vermouth is there.
A little bit of water in,
You want your mushroom?
and then mushrooms. What's this? I can't remember. Is this called gourmet or bonne femme?
Bonne femme, yes, that's right.
That is good wife.
You remember it more than I do.
Good wife who cooks her husband.
You know what I'll do for you? Maybe I'll do a piece of paper. to
Oh yes,
put
we
on top.
need that also.
So what you can do is to butter the paper this way, half, and fold it in half. And
This
in
is
four.
always the first thing you learn in cooking
Yes.
school is how to make a paper cover.
Right. And from the cover where there is no opening, you do one triangle into another smaller and smaller triangle. And then you measure the radius here, which is from here about to here.
Mm-hmm.
Here. So you have your
Very nicely
your
buttered.
buttered pieces of paper here,
You
right?
know that there's a French book called The Repertoire de la Cuisine, or the Kitchen Repertory. And I think you did it. You did a translation of that.
No, I did a
And
little
how
introduction,
many?
yes.
How many fish and white wine were there? So
gosh.
over 200.
Yes, over 200. There's 7,500 recipe in a very tiny book, but very elliptical. Just give you very simple explanation. Okay, shall I start mine too?
Mm-hmm.
So what I will do
This
here...
should be about 6 minutes or so.
Okay. For me, I'm going to put a little bit of onion, which I'm chopped just like you did yours. And my 2 pieces of fish, which I'm putting directly on top with, I use black pepper because I like the black pepper, some salt, white wine. Yeah, dry white wine. This is the Chardonnay. I think I'll put a bit of tomato in it. And maybe, you know, I'll take the skin out of it. And if you have a good vegetable peeler like this, you know, you can take the skin of your tomato.
No, the fish fillets du glace, I think that has
Yes,
tomatoes and mushrooms.
you are
in it.
absolutely right there.
So
See?
I guess this would be à la Provençale, would it?
Yes.
But you need a little garlic in.
You remember your classic more than I do, you know? So here we are. You mean you want me to put garlic on top of this?
No,
Okay,
but you can.
okay.
It's your recipe.
I'll cut this. So now, basically, again, you know, this is great for stock. You have the skin, you have the
That's-
juice, the seed. All I have is the flesh of the tomato, which I'll cut in little dice. Okay, I'll have that part here. And maybe a bit of fresh thyme, I think I want to put in there. So maybe all the sprig of thyme, you know. This way it will be nice on top. It will give a lot of flavor.
Yes, that will be kind of à la Provençale.
Yes, with thyme, tomato, in the style of the south of France, it's true.
Except for not having the garlic.
No garlic. And this is going to cook for a couple of minutes, and during that time of the garnish, we're going to do cucumber. And in a classic way also, to do the cucumber, we're going to tourner cucumber, so you all cut them in the same size, and you could also peel it, but conventionally we cut them this way
Well, I
in
think if
4
you're
chunks.
going to cook it with the skin on, you want to make sure that the cucumber hasn't been waxed.
Yes.
And this is an unwaxed one.
Do you want to do some?
Sure.
Here is a little knife, where you have one. So what we want to do here, you start with where the seed are. You remove that part of the seed, of course.
Or you can
Taking
cut
this-
the whole thing in half and use a spoon to get it out.
You can do that too, but I mean, if you want to do what we call tourner here, that is doing kind of little football shape, then you want to use a paring knife like that. This is what you learn in school, and take the smallest amount, of course, of the skin to give it that shape. And actually, you know, 1 cucumber is enough for like 3 or 4 people. You serve 4 or 5 pieces per person.
Mine isn't doing very well, so I'll eat it.
Good. Well, I eat that one. It's not too good, too.
Okay.
That cucumber has a lot of seed.
Mm.
There's almost no flesh left, you know.
I think cooked cooked cucumbers. That's lovely with fish.
With fish, it's excellent. So what we'll do here is actually just put a little bit of water, a dash of salt, and as soon as it comes to a boil, I'm going to boil that 1.5 to 2 minutes. It goes very fast.
I think mine is about done.
Yes, I would say that this is great. You're absolutely right there. We should start the sauce. And your sauce you're going to do?
I'm going to do the classic beurre blanc.
See,
And
where this one comes from.
Now, this is when I was in Paris, gosh, way back in the very early 50s. White butter sauce you didn't find in classical cooking. There was a beurre from Nantes.
Oh, the beurre Nantes. Yeah, right, I remember that.
And there was only one person in Paris called La Mère Michel.
Who was doing it?
She was doing it in her restaurant. She was an elderly woman with white hair, and she made her sauce in a pan exactly like this. So after she taught us how to do it, I went out and bought this pan. So that, how old? That's about 50 years old.
I'm going to put my cucumber here with a little bit of water. That's it, just cook a few minutes. And
Now I'm going to strain my sauce out.
we'll
Strain it right
just
into
hold
there.
it like that with the lid, you know, and that gives you all the juice of the fish. And the advantage of that technique, of course, is that you keep that nice and warm
And
here
take
in
it
this
off the
corner.
heat.
And then you can do your sauce in there.
We want to boil this down to practically a tablespoon.
So you're going to do a beurre blanc.
Beurre blanc de Nantes.
And basically here, this is an emulsion of this. You reduce, and you use that as a flavoring agent,
Yeah.
right?
And also, the butter
It's
will
nice and
thicken in
creamy.
it.
Beautiful,
And-
yes. Good.
Now, you're going to do what?
I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to do, let's see, mine. Mine is about cooked too, so I may remove it and put it in something like this and do the sauce here. I think my cucumber are ready here. There is basically no water left, but I will drain just the remaining water.
Just about
That's it.
none.
Yeah, I can steal a little piece of butter from you.
Looks me.
Okay.
As much
I'll
as you...
put this in there, a dash of salt, and that's it. I will finish letting that melt here, warm up to serve with the fish. Okay. Now, are you ready with oh, your reduction is beautiful there.
Yeah.
Okay. And here, what do you have here? About two tablespoons?
About 3
Yeah,
tablespoons.
3 tablespoons.
Now, you do it right over heat, don't you?
Yes.
Oh.
Lower heat, sir.
And then the La Mère Michel, she used to do it, putting it bit by bit in.
Yes.
I'll do it your method because it's faster.
That's good.
I think of the beurre blanc came into fashion again with, what was it, Michel Guérard and La Nouvelle Cuisine.
Yes, that's true.
And then now that everyone is so afraid of fat, because they don't know how to manage it properly, you don't see it much anymore. But it is delicious, I think.
Absolutely. And you know, if you consider very often, you know, you do a beurre blanc or something like this, and you end up putting 4 or 5 tablespoons of butter to serve that to 2 or 3 people. Well, a couple of tablespoons of butter per person. It's not the end of the world.
Well, I think you have to be aware of it's not something you're going to eat every day.
Right.
And then if it was anything that's left over, you can keep and beat into, say, a velouté sauce.
In a velouté, yeah? Yeah, you have a nice texture. It's delicious. Really good.
That hasn't thickened a great deal,
I think it's great. Here, you want to taste it?
I think.
It's good, isn't it?
That is good. Do I want to...
A little dash of vermouth? All right. I knew you were going to do that. Now, what we need is a little bit of pepper in it.
Yeah.
You want some black?
No, I love
White.
white.
See, I like black pepper. So what I'm going to do with mine is actually... You can't eat all the sauce. We need it for the fish.
Mm.
I'm going to move mine to
Well, that looks very nice.
a gratin dish like this.
And with the skin, which is decorative.
At that point, I'm going to do a little bit of so-called a beurre blanc. So I put, about that much, a couple of teaspoons of butter, and about the same amount of flour. Where do I have flour? Right here, so I can go with the tip of my
So there's going to be kind of
whisk. And I have it.
a beurre manier.
A beurre manier, that's right. And I mix it together. And it's great to use a whisk for that, because you see what happens is that I really have a minimum, because I don't really want much here. And while at the end of my whisk, I can go directly into the hot liquid. This is cold, this is hot, and I will whisk it in, and it will incorporate very nicely and very easily. And right away, as you see, this will come to a boil and give me a little bit of the viscosity that I need. Just oily.
And I can lend you a little bit of my beurre blanc if you need it.
No, I'm putting cream in mine.
Well, you're putting in cream.
So I'm putting 3 tablespoons of cream.
Well, that's going to be nice.
And of course, I will let that reduce for a second. Maybe a dash of lemon juice. Do you think so? There to have a bit of acidity. Good. To a few drops at the end. That's about it. I mean, I'm basically ready. And yours?
Well, I think I'm going to serve my rice in here.
Directly in there.
That didn't thicken up. It should look like a hollandaise. I think a little parsley.
Would you like a few of those
I
cucumbers
would.
around, like this?
Some up in there.
And a few here.
Those look awfully nice, don't they?
Yes. This is very, very classic.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see mine. Maybe arrange some
But
cucumber
the
around.
cucumbers are really just lovely with fish, I think.
Yes. Just putting a little ring of cucumber. And I will serve my fish there with the sauce, a bit of the tomato in there.
Very pretty.
And I may borrow a little bit of your parsley, you know. Et voilà, madame.
Et voila.
I think those are great dishes, you know. It's fun cooking together, isn't
It
it?
is fun cooking together, so bon appetit.
And happy cooking.
A presentation of KQED San Francisco.
This looks so good. It almost feels like we're
Vedi
having
e
a Thanksgiving
vedi
feast.
a Roma il Papa, vedi e vieni a vedere il Papa, città eterna di fede, città eterna d'amore, che accoglie, che non delude, che sa ascoltare Roma. I romani sono gente di antiche tradizioni d'amore. Accoglie la città è cattolica eterna e crede che sia sempre come vuole, ma crede, lotta e vive, lotta e ama nella legalità e nel coraggio. È la capitale di tutti gli italiani. Roma è Roma, che vuoi fare? Roma è Roma, città eterna Da Cristo, da un maometto in poi c'è solo Roma nel cuore. Roma è gente che combatte per la legalità, cerca nei quartieri, cerca la pace che dà solo il buonsenso. Roma è sempre Roma cristiana, Roma tra leoni che combatte, che brucia ma vive il suo amore. Roma è Roma antica, medievale. Roma è Roma col Colosseo che combatte per la legalità. Roma è gente formata di onestà. Roma è Roma di tutti gli italiani. Viva Gesù e Maria, due cittadini d'onore, d'orgoglio e onore, pace e amore, con la Maria Loreto e San Giovanni in fiore. Viva, viva San Pietro il Papa, il primo Papa regnante della Chiesa cattolica che lotta, vince tra dolore e morte, che l'uomo deve ricordare per vivere e testimoniare il Vangelo. E Roma, che Roma è Roma di tutti i romani. Roma è Roma è Roma è Roma. Roma è Roma è Roma è Roma. Roma capitale d'Italia. 150 anni che è creata dal popolo unito, da Sicilia, da Sardegna, da Lombardia, da Calabria, Emilia, Romagna, Friuli, Genova, così via dicendo, che cerca l'autonomia che viene soltanto lottando, credendo, testimoniando Enrico De Nicolò e l'assemblea costituente. Viva Roma e Roma e viva, viva nel cuore di tutti i romani. Viva e viva con le sue 5 punte, 7 e colli, Quirinale, Vaticano e così via dicendo. E viva Roma, viva, viva e viva Roma, viva, viva e viva Roma. Nel cuore noi cantiamo e portiamo sempre viva, viva e Roma e viva, viva il Papa, viva sempre. Vivi, vivi Roma e vivi, viva e viva Roma con i suoi mercati e chiese. Viva Roma, viva Roma e Sicilia intesa, Sardegna e tutta l'Italia, l'Emilia Romagna e viva Toscana, Puglia, viva con le sue province. Viva l'Italia e Roma e viva, viva l'Italia e Roma e viva, il Parlamento, evviva, viva gli italiani, viva il popolo d'Europa, evviva. Viva la speranza, evviva, viva la storia che non dimentica, viva gli americani e i russi, viva e viva Roma e poi viva e tutto e vive così. Viva, viva Roma e poi viva, viva l'Italia. Viva la legalità, viva, viva la Puglia che non molla, viva tutti e viva le piccole località italiane. Viva l'Alto Adige, Umbria e viva. Viva Torino, primo Parlamento, viva, viva Roma unita, viva il popolo italiano, viva San Francesco d'Assisi, patrono d'Italia, viva, viva la libertà di credo e di opinione. Viva, viva il mondo che deve vivere in pace, deve vivere in pace, costruendo la pace. Viva Gesù e Maria e San Giuseppe sempre viva, viva Roma e romani, viva il popolo italiano, viva, viva l'Europa unita, viva, viva l'Europa unita, che non si arrende ma che ricorda, viva l'illuminismo costituzionale, viva, viva l'Europa unita e l'America, la Argentina e Gesuiti, viva, viva l'Europa unita, la Roma canta, balla, viva l'Europa e Roma unita. Viva!
सुनने में बहुत मामूली लगती है, लेकिन दिवाली की पूजा इसके बिना अधूरी है। ये है मीठे बताशे और इसको चीनी की चाशनी से बनाया जाता है। इसको बनाना एक कुशल कारीगरी का काम है, जिसकी सराहना जरूरी है। तो चलिए देखते हैं ये बताशे बनते कैसे हैं।
तो